Okay, we are back and we have started building our story um, about breaking ground. I have started the chapter on the problem, and I'm now going to skip to 4 elements that are required for your story map, and they're pretty simple and easy to add. And so I'm going to go to our story map guide completed. I'm going to skip down to water in the commons, and we'll come back to this part 2 where we focus on one location later. So with water in the commons, there are 2 required features here. One is a map of the Kids Creek watershed, and the second required feature is the pie chart that you created when you sorted your soil sample into sand, silt, and clay particles. So we're going to go ahead and add these 2 features right now because they are linked and they're really easy to add. And then we are also going to come down here to the saturated zone and infiltration and add a GPR chart and your bar chart you created from the infiltration lab. And so we'll get back up here and start with this. The watershed map is linked here on this document. And if I just go ahead and click on that, it should open the map up for me. You may be able to download it immediately upon opening it, or you may have to click on the snowman. If you don't see the download symbol, click on the snowman and you'll have the option to open in a new window, and then you should see the download symbol. So I'm going to go ahead and download the watershed map. This is the Kids Creek watershed, and go to my story map. And the watershed map goes under water in the commons. So I'm going to click on the plus sign. And even though it's a map, this is an image. It's just a picture of a map. I'll click on image, browse for that file, and look at my downloads. Here's that watershed map, open, and then add that here. And again, I encourage you to write a caption for each of your maps, right? So this red boundary shows us that all of the water beneath the surface and the ground, and any water that lands inside of this red boundary is going to eventually make its way to Kids Creek, drain to Kids Creek, and will then drain to Kids Creek outlet into the Boardman River, which then drains into the bay. The second required feature, I'll just scoot down a little bit here, is our pie chart of the soil texture. And this comes from the lab that you did. Everybody created a pie chart. And if you click on this link, it's actually going to take you to the assignment for the soil composition. Okay, you're going to want to open the spreadsheet that we worked with, not the soil texture chart here, but the spreadsheet. And once the spreadsheet loads, you should have your charts down here at the bottom. And I'm just going to look at mine right now. You're going to select your pie chart. You'll download the chart as a PNG image. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to breaking ground. And this chart the pie chart should go right underneath your watershed chart. We're going to add another image, browse to that, and add this to the story map. Okay. And right now we're just really trying to get these entered into our story map, and we'll come back and build on the story later. The next thing we want to add is, I'm going to go back and I'm going to close out these items that I'm not using anymore. Okay, so the soil composition. The next thing on my guide here that we're going to go to is the saturated zone and infiltration. I need the GPR interpretation chart and then the bar chart from the infiltration lab. So let's go to the GPR chart first. This one's pretty simple. It's going to take you right to the image. And this is a an interpretation or profile of the ground beneath the wreck area, so where the Newcomb Court is. And this is where we did our ground penetrating radar sample. And you can see on this map that this is the line where we took our measurements from. And this is a cross section of what it looks like underground. And we've got the purple line represents the clay layer that is beneath the ground. And we know that that's an impermeable layer. And then we have a sandy loam with gravel mixed in above that. And our groundwater table is about 5 feet below the surface. So that means that all of this soil here is saturated with water, and most likely the soil beneath the clay layer is also saturated. So I'm going to download this diagram, this image, go back to my Breaking Ground story map, and now we're working with the saturated zone and infiltration. So I'm going to click on the plus sign, add this image, and here is my GPR image. So hopefully you're starting to see the pattern here where we find the data and the parts of the story that we want to add to our story map and insert them, and kind of try to keep them organized here. And then we're going to come back later and we'll kind of fill in the details. Okay, so right now we're just trying to get our imagery in here. We're building out the illustrations of our story map, and then we will come back and really tie everything together. Okay, we have one more item to add. And this is going to go right beneath the GPR interpretation. And I'm going to go ahead and close the one I'm not using. And that is your bar chart. So this is, again, going to link to your lab. And some of you actually downloaded this bar chart already. If you did not, you can just click on the lab itself. And I'll let this load. And I have my chart. I've got a chart there, and I have a chart here. So we'll just download this chart. Click on download. We want the PNG file. And once that's done, I go to Breaking Ground, and I'm going to click the plus sign. And again, I'm adding an image. These are all pictures of the data that I want to add. And I find my chart, open, add, and I have my last element there that I'm going to add. So we added the watershed map, the soil composition profile. This is also called the soil texture. We have the ground penetrating radar data, and then our bar chart from the soil compaction and infiltration lab.